right, guys, so you made it to the first date. I know it's a great feeling, but with that great feeling also comes concerns and maybe an unknown territory, and you don't know what to do and how to approach this first date. Well, today I'm going to get into that right now. So let's talk about what you go into the date thinking like. The mindset we have before the date and the overall vibe is so important because how you go into it is how the date goes. The mindset you should have before the date is you're not overly sold on her. You're going into it with a neutral attitude. If you go into it in love, you're going to fail. You're going to fail. She's going to feel that, okay? Nobody wants that pressure on the first date, regardless of gender. Nobody wants that pressure. So what we're going to do to relieve that pressure is say, I find her attractive. I'm not totally sold on her just yet. Let's see what she's actually like. Let's see what she has going on for her more than just her looks, okay? That's your mindset. Is she a good fit for me? And what that does is it builds confidence. It builds a good aura about you to where when you go on the date, you're not overly sold. You see, most women that reject men on the first date, these guys are overly sold. And when you're overly sold, it says you're not used to being with a woman like her or can be with a woman like her. You're lowering your value. Because when you think like that, guys, you go into this first date with a heck of a lot of pressure. You really, really do. So everything you say and do comes across as needy. It really, really does. It's a scarcity mindset. So you just go into it with a neutral attitude. You go into it not overly excited, but also not dreading it either. There's a healthy, happy medium there, and I'm here to share that with you now. So one of the things you can do to help this is you never ever show up to this first date early. Never, ever show up early unless you're a fool, okay? Because it doesn't work. And people's argument is, well, if she really likes you, then it shouldn't matter. And women like reliable men. And if he's there early, it shows that he's a really great guy. No, that's not reality, okay? Quit listening to everybody else and listen to me. I know what I'm talking about. And if you don't believe me, try this before you deny it, okay? You never show up early. A lot of guys will be sitting there at the bar with her drink already ordered for her. And she's 15 minutes late. Now let me ask you, what's wrong with that picture there? What does that feel like? It feels like you're low value. It feels like you're not used to doing this, okay? And that's exactly what it is. That's exactly what it is. And guys, this really, really helps your nerves. If you are a type to get nervous on the first date, I know I used to be. If you show up never earlier than on time, okay? And I even recommend, guys, if you can even get there a few minutes after she walks in. I know this is totally against what everybody recommends, but I am telling you, it is a great way to start this first date because it leaves that little bit of uncertainty, but you're also not making her wait a half hour, okay? But I recommend being on time or even better, a few minutes later than on time, okay? Just a few minutes. If you can somehow even wait in your car and, just wait there until you get a text from her or, see her walk in, then walk right in after her. It kind of leaves this aura about like, where is he? He's not in here. Every other guy has showed up before me. This is different. So we go into the date with that position of confidence, certainty, and power. And then the rest of the date will go so much easier. That's why I didn't want to leave this point out, because this little prerequisite before the date literally shapes the way it feels for you the entire first date. And it makes it that much easier. Then once we're on this first date, you simply keep it simple. You're not trying to get laid, okay? You're not trying to get into her pants. In your mind, you're thinking, let's connect here. Let's make her laugh. Let's keep it lighthearted. Let's not talk about past relationships. Let's not talk about boring stuff. Let's have fun. You want to have fun on the first date. You don't need to talk about politics unless it's genuinely fun for you guys to talk about. You don't need to talk about too much of work, okay? You're there to stimulate her emotions. You are there to build attraction, okay? and you can tease her, you can play with her and have fun, and it'll be the time of her life. I promise you. When you go into it with this mindset, you're not overly eager and you're just playful, you're fun, she will want to see you again. That's the thing, really, what you're worried about on this first date. You're worried that it won't go well and you won't see her again. That's why there's so much pressure. Because in reality, it kind of is a lot of pressure, okay? But I'm showing you ways how to reduce the stress, reduce the fear of it, and improve how it feels for both of you. All the advice I'm giving now, what you do before the date and what you do on the date, is just to make it easier for you, because it's one of the toughest dates out there, okay? It is. It's a lot easier later on because you're comfortable, but that first date, there's a lot of tension build up. There's a lot of unknown. But if you're used to doing this and you know what you're doing, it doesn't feel scary. You know, guys, another thing that I recommend for this first date, like I said, you keep it lighthearted, you have fun with her, you talk about fun things, okay? It doesn't mean you can't ever talk about anything serious, but what I'm saying is that the overall vibe is just unattached, neutral, and you're getting a feel for each other, okay? And then at the end of the date, this is the other thing that I recommend. Don't wait till it fizzles out for her to say, looking at her watch, saying, well, it's been really great, thank you. I gotta get up for work tomorrow. Don't wait for her to say that. You say it. You be the leader. And you say, well, why are you doing this? Why does this mean so much? Why are you even making a video about this? Because there's only two options here. You're going to end the date, or she is going to end the date. The waiter or waitress isn't going to end the date. Your parents aren't going to end the date. Your buddies aren't going to end the date. Either you are or she is. And the person that ends the date first has the power, okay? And if you're like me, you like to be the man in the relationship, that's important to you. So that's what we're going to do. And it also shows leadership. And honestly, guys, it just makes her feel more relaxed because she can be in her feminine frame. When guys try to keep her out all night and they're just hoping to get lucky, that's her experience 99% of the time with other guys. They hope to get lucky. They keep her out. They keep her out, okay? You want to end on a peak. You want to end when things are going amazing. That could be a kiss. It could be a really long hug, but that's a great time to end the date, okay? Because you are showing value, you're showing restraint, which is attractive to women, and you're being mature about it. And you're not trying to keep her out till 1 a.m. and she loses attraction and then you never hear from her again. We're trying to mitigate that risk, okay? So to recap, I'm going to go over everything. We go into the date with the proper mindset. You're unattached. You're not overly sold on her. If you can, show up on time or show up a few minutes after her to gain power, to gain confidence, and to show you're not overly eager, and it keeps her guessing just a little bit, not overly. Okay, and then on the date, we're going to be playful, we're going to be fun, we're going to stimulate her emotions. We're not going to talk about past relationships. We're not going to talk about boring stuff. And then preferably you end the date first at a peak. So it ends on a fantastic note and you're not waiting for her to start yawning and looking at her watch. You are the one with the power. And that's what this is all about. Okay, it's not about controlling women. It's about being a leader. So thank you for watching this video today. I encourage you to schedule a one-on-one coaching session with me to learn more about how to become an alpha male. You guys have a great day. Be empowered.